want you to put on your calendars to join me and your favorite ne'er-do-well Yankee, Bill D'Angelo, on Saturday nights, beginning with Promises Kept at 8 p.m.
That didn't work.
8 p.m.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note.
8 p.m.
Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later. Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
Idiot boogie bumper, idiot boogie bumper, idiot boogie bumper, idiot boogie bumper, idiot boogie bumper.
He's really giving that one a workout. Go on.
DLive.tv/JJ Stoner, and we love JJ here on the show.
It's the JJ Stoner Spring Collection, the perfect attire for any and every occasion you can think of this season. Like we were in the mosh pit full of sweat and everyone's slapping, hitting, and pulling on you. This shit won't riff! Lunch at your favorite cafe? Brunch with the girls? These stylish ensembles will give you the confidence you need to look and feel your best. Or if you're getting arrested for possession, it comes with a built-in police stick-proof body armor. Keep swinging, pigs! Call now, and your order will come with a complimentary ounce of that dankest bubblegum slurricane that the South has to offer. Don't forget the wall tapestry! If you need to cover your wall, it works!
Hello, my name is Frozen Asian, and I'd like to tell you about my show, The Sunday Night Shit Show, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Along with good conversations and laughing at funny and weird shit we find on the internet, we also have the Hat Cam, where I showcase my myriad of great-looking hats. Here is a testimonial from a great friend of mine who has enjoyed my hats lately.
I hope your next hat is a bullet. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking Asian Dick Tracy? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to ruin my evening? Like, I was gonna just listen to my buds do their show, and you just gotta do that. You do the show without the hat.
So you're not enjoying it?
No!
Dude, Asian
come
Dick
on,
Tracy.
secretly you enjoy it.
You look
No.
like you're going undercover in Argentina, but it's not working.
I hate you. I hate you. And I hate
Come
your
on, you
stupid
secretly love it.
hat. No, I openly hate it.
And there you have it. So subscribe to the Sunday Night Shit Show at youtube.com/Sunday Night Shit Show. And hope to see you there on Sunday nights. Bye.
Feeling depressed? Need someone to tell you it's not okay? Do you like goth public access TV? Then join me for The Big Empty every Sunday at noon. Major_Tom on DLive, with zeros for O's, because everything in your life is that difficult.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on DLive. Enjoy the joy of Bessie. Carry old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on DLive. Enjoy the joy of Bessie. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons. eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi.
Oh, what's wrong with Asian pet stores? We maybe we keep eating the animals.
That can help all, also known as Got You, have now banned all boogieing and boogie-related movements worldwide. Public safety is the main concern, they say, and people are reminded that boogieing is contagious. Anyone caught boogieing will be dealt with in the harshest terms police have reported. More at 11.
This world can get you down. There's just one thing you can do. You gotta get back up and shake it all around. No one's gonna tell me how I'm gonna boogie. Come on, everybody, boogie bumper tonight. No one's gonna tell me how I'm gonna boogie. Come on, everybody, boogie bumper tonight. No one's gonna tell me how to boogie. Come on, everybody, boogie bumper tonight.
Patriots, this is your favorite Southerner, Doc Martin. Just wanted to remind you to put on your calendars to join me and your favorite ne'er-do-well Yankee, Phil D'Angelo, on Saturday nights, beginning with Promises Kept at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Speakeasy.
Thanks for
All of your favorite Patriots.
I bet it feels good.
You never know what we might cuss and discuss.
That's right, Doc Martin. This is everybody's favorite Yankee, Phil D'Angelo speaking. And on Saturday night, we could have Kimmy, Y Censored, affectionately known as Electrolux, the original Grandma, UK Neil, Rusty in his famous sound test show, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Earth Citizen, Stefan, the infamous Grandma Sears, Mac Daddy may even make a show up, or virtually anyone else in the world for some irrelevant fun.
Yankee, you mean some irreverent fun. So be sure to join us on Twitch, Periscope, D-Live, or YouTube.
That's right, Doc. Follow us at Winning TV on all of those channels.
So be sure and put it on your calendar. We'll be looking for you. We'll leave the porch light on.
I still think it's irrelevant fun.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
Looks like the riots.
to being here. And we have a very big push on to have auto plants and other plants, many other plants. You're not being singled out, believe me, Mary, I promise. Okay? But to have a lot of plants from a lot of different items built in the United States. And it's happening.
Don't worry, Doc Martin's entered in the butt plug contest on the Boogie Daily Boogie for next Friday.
I lasted longer than you do. Hate to be bragging, but just saying, Phil. I'm going to bring that up until speaking. Hi, everybody.
And you could see everybody tonight. Our ad roll is covered by riots. I got a multi-screen up there. Who is this? Tim Truth. Just so you know who's up there in the corner. He's got multi-screens. Looks like they're popping off all over America now. It's just not just a few cities now. It's Philadelphia. They're looting, rioting in broad daylight now, folks. So
burning cars already. Yeah. I was telling Phil before the show started that we live in a suburb of Dallas, probably about 12, 15 miles as a crow flies from downtown Dallas. And last night we were sitting out in the hot tub, and I am telling you, all night long, all we heard was sirens all night long. And I live in a little quiet suburb, so it just shows you how the unrest reaches every corner, and it's just such a shame. But I do think that this is gonna. I think that POTUS is going to use this time to hopefully bring in the what they call it, the military National Guard or something like that. It's the military aspect of it that might with the what is the word? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all are going to have to forgive me tonight.
The National Guard?
I'm winging it because I've been taking bus relaxers for a bad back all week. No, the whatever comitatus, the blah blah blah.
Posse comitatus.
He can utilize the National Guard from the states with the military and take it over, basically. So, I think at some point that this is going to maybe take a turn for needing that. What are y'all thinking?
No, well, number one, the Posse comitatus thing deal was changed under Obama, so that was in his first term. I remember that because in the Tea Party we discovered that, so he doesn't have to change it. Because it's already there for him to use the military, but the National Guard was already deployed to Minneapolis, and they didn't do anything. So
last night they did not, but my understanding is that they were talking about this afternoon that he was doing something different for tonight. So I'm hoping that means that they're going to take because the National Guard doesn't just stand down. Well, I think that they were told to.
They're told. They're controlled by the governor, so the governor can tell them what to do.
But with the comitatus, POTUS gets to take them over with the military. They were talking about it this afternoon on one of the shows I was watching, and I'm really, really hoping that they take control of this. Yeah, R.M. Johns, I'm with you, honey. And I'd be happy to donate to the cause, wouldn't you? So happy Saturday. Regardless, we have some wonderful winning this week, guys, to celebrate. But I think that everybody that has been watching our show and most of the people in our audience are savvy enough electorate to know that we are in an information war, a narrative war, and they have just pivoted very nicely from the woohoo virus, which all of a sudden you hadn't heard anything about that, have you? And I don't think a lot of those people are
Well,
socially distancing.
that's the point, Doc, because people on the beach were shamed by the media. Absolutely shamed. Now you have people shoulder to shoulder in a riot, not a peep out of the mainstream media.
Oh, they're delighting in it. They're wishing them well. Their hope is CNN and all them. Although, you know what? After last night, CNN needs to be rethinking that one because, what's his name? Chubby Cheeks. Jim Acosta was tweeting something about the fact that they were very safe and cozy up in their offices watching all that and everything, acting like he's so smug. And I thought, you know what? I wouldn't be quite so smug, darling. You got to leave those offices sometime. Just saying. And as violent as they were, I wouldn't be counting on them protecting me. The people I saw downstairs. They said they've had over 500 arrested in LA so far after looting and vandalism. Now, the interesting thing that I did hear this afternoon was a pivot because the Minnesota governor and that wicked little evil mayor that they've got has been trying to say that it is the right-wing supremacists that are doing this.
Yeah, the mayor of Minneapolis.
Libnuts.
Mayor of Minneapolis tried to claim it was the white supremacists.
Frey or whatever his name is. I believe they pronounce
it. Yeah, the
Frey.
white supremacists blend in really good. Well, African American. Oh God, really? You're going to try to spin that?
Well,
I mean,
they're just anything to
Yeah, the skinheads showed up and nobody said anything.
Can you believe that?
Although some of the residents in Minneapolis, well, look at these fires going. Some of the residents in Minneapolis were disgusted with the white liberals destroying their neighborhood. I saw a couple videos out on Twitter, unbelievably, that people are pissed off that, hey, don't come to my neighborhood and destroy it.
Yeah.
So
because this is everything they've got.
Hmm.
A lot of these business owners, I even saw a very interesting article written by who was it? It was somebody, one of the arrogant mainstream media journalists was reminding everybody that these business owners have insurance. And someone had written back and said, you know what? Not, a lot of the big companies do, but the little mom and pop shops, they operate on such a slim margin and have so little that they don't have insurance in many cases. This is one man was sitting there bawling because it was his life savings that they just ransacked. And every one of them are all of these big cities. In Texas, every major, city in Texas, even though we're a conservative state, that's where they congregate because they push everybody into these small, little apartments, shaming people, not encouraging home ownership anymore because they want us in these cities so we can be sheeple, so that they can.
Hey,
we
you
can
subscribed. Does it feel good?
Thanks for the sub. You set myself flaccid.
Hey, Whistle Britches.
So, first off, I'm just going to say that those cops, they deserved. I think they should have been arrested the first day. I don't know what they were waiting on.
Well, the thing about it is,
well, wait, hold on, Doc.
All of this rioting is not about that, though.
Well, but
we would all want them to investigate before they arrested us, wouldn't we?
Wait a minute. If the cops got a videotape and witnesses of me standing and kneeling on somebody's neck for 7 minutes, I'm pretty much in handcuffs right then and there.
Probably.
Yep.
I would think.
But they let this guy go home to dinner, and how many days later before they arrest him? With videotape and eyewitnesses and...
I agree, and I would have liked for it to have been a little sooner. I would have wanted it to have been long enough for me to have had a fair opportunity, because sometimes, we've learned things that, have had some kind of mitigation. I don't know if there's anything that would have mitigated the optics of him sitting there on that man's neck. I really don't. But in the interest of fairness, I'd give him a day or two. But 4 or 5 days later, no. Plus, the other thing is it would not have mattered if they charged him the very first day. We'd still have these riots, because these riots are organized. These riots are paid for, bought and paid for by Soros and his evil little Antifa minions and Antifa-like minions. So do I believe that it would have changed the course of these riots? No. Would I still have liked it? Yes. Is there anything that would excuse the callousness that man exhibited towards that man's life, even if it did not cause? It's like I said, I'm sorry, but if somebody had their full weight on my neck, I'd have a heart attack. I would have been, like a writhing fish, like that dog on that leash from that woman in the park this week that was choked to death nearly. He was twitching and trying to get air every which way he could, trying to tell her she was choking him to death, and she did nothing but keep on choking him. Same way that man did. I think she should have been charged with animal abuse.
That's the woman who tried to tell the police there was a black man attacking her?
Yes. I couldn't even, to be honest with you, I couldn't even watch. I haven't even listened to it. I heard that's what she did, but I was so freaked out by her callousness to that dog, choking him for that long. I couldn't think, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear anything else. I was just too freaked out about the dog. But
I think, if anything, the last couple of months, the police have gotten a little out of control. A whole lot out of control. The way they've treated business owners, arresting people for going to church, taking their plate numbers. I think these governors and mayors gave them way too much power to do whatever the hell they wanted to us.
I don't know if it's that, or if they were feeling so much pressure from these left-wing libnut governors that they succumbed. Either way, it was wrong.
Well, some of the videos that you see on Twitter,
laws that were unconstitutional, that were not even law.
Well, some of the videos on Twitter, some of these cops were getting their thrill out of it. I mean, they were absolutely terrorizing some of these business owners.
And then there's some that kept coming out saying that they weren't going to do it, but then later did. So that some of them had to do it out of fear for their jobs too. So either way, it doesn't really matter. The motive is not the point. The point is, you're right. They have been too many times in our country trying to enforce things that are not laws. They were enforcing things that were unconstitutional, that were stripping us of our rights. And I think there's going to be a checkmate on that too. Just saying.
Yeah, I think our police departments, and not all cops are bad, but not all of them are good. I think I said that a few weeks ago about the FBI when Sean Hannity says the rank and file, they're all great guys. No. You got to stop doing that. You can't say an entire group of teachers. Thank all teachers. All teachers are wonderful. No, they're not. There's bad teachers. There's bad cops.
There's good, bad, and ugly of every kind, because unfortunately, we are all human. But to put anybody on a pedestal to where they can do no wrong is dangerous. It's dangerous for our republic. And don't freaking use that word democracy. I never thought I would ever in a million years have a problem with the word democracy, but I have one now. We live in a republic. And it's about time that people remember that.
Yeah, there's a lot of South American countries that are democracies, right? Are they really? They're not.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, Yankee, we did have some really good material. If there's anything that you might want to just kind of bring up and us kind of discuss on the side, I know that a lot of people are.
We'll talk about more of this on the speakeasy, but yeah, you know, we'll see what happens. I hope everybody's safe, because this is not gonna just isolate itself to Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, all the big cities, Dallas. I got a feeling this time it's going to spread, because I think I've heard enough of the Antifa crowd say we need to go to the suburbs. I've seen, and I don't know if that's just rhetoric from Antifa, but you know, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the next move, because why burn down your own neighborhood? Go out to the people that Antifa blames, the white people.
You saw it in Dallas last night. They were singling out the women cops because they know they've got an advantage on it. And this is coming from people that say they revere women. Well, they sure picked on them. And the male cops even threw themselves over the woman cop trying to protect her. So, you know,
I don't think it's all or most of it has been started by the minority groups, the African Americans, whatever, black people. I'm seeing a lot of white liberals smashing windows in these videos.
Did we make a leap? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Just, because there's some people on Twitter going, "Oh yeah, the blacks do this all the time." But that's not what I'm seeing on the videos.
Hey, I saw white people, a ton of white people out there. It's not race.
I think the agitators are actually Antifa groups that were brought in to wreck things.
And these are paid professional. If you looked, there was several news people that covered the fact that they had military grade comms in their ears, and a lot of them had military grade weapons. Also in downtown Dallas, there was all over the internet they had stashes of bricks everywhere.
Yeah, that's pre-staged.
They had pictures of the day before on that same corner there was no bricks. The day of, there conveniently was a fresh load of bricks just waiting on them.
I wish I had saved that Twitter video, but there's a Twitter video out there where a group of African Americans, I think it was Minnesota, is telling the white liberals to stop rioting in his neighborhood. He's like, I know you're here, you think you're doing the right thing, but you're destroying our neighborhood. You're rioting in our neighborhood.
And then they leave and leave these poor people to live in shambles.
I believe that happened in Baltimore the last time. They kick it off, and of course, if all the windows are smashed, you see the media conveniently shows the looting, but they don't. They never show who smashed the thing up in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, Lady Fritzy and UK Neil pointed out that this is George Soros money. That's exactly what I've been saying. It is, and we know who pulls George Soros strings, and that's the Pacer family. So there's been some very interesting tweets out by whatever, I can never even remember his first name, Albanotti or whatever his name, Pacer. Go, if you don't follow him, go read his tweets today. See if you don't think that they're very interesting. Yes, this is George Soros money. This is Pacer money. This is arranged. This was organized. There was people at the airport saying that there was thousands flown in for this. They have got professional grade, military grade equipment. They've got pamphlets out everywhere showing training and telling them, if you're gonna use a fist, only hit them between the shoulders and the pelvic area. Don't hit them below the belt or above the neck. If they use an open slap, an open palm, that they can hit them any way they want. Just gives them all this information. We know these things. You tell them to blend in with the crowd and not to use any of their props until the locals had used some, so that they wouldn't stand out and bring attention to the fact that they're not a local, that they're a paid operative, that these are paid agitators. These are professionals brought in to do a professional hit job. And they're supported by all the Dems because that fits their narrative.
I got a video.
They gonna set them hoes right up on the rail.
Hold on, I got one video here that you were just talking about, the bricks that you sent myself flats. I wish I could find that other video where they were telling the groups to stop smashing up their stores.
What you were talking about.
All right, here's a video here. Ooh, where's my music? I shut the volume off. Hold on one second.
Even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do them bricks go to? This right here? Yeah, they put them there. This the setup. They put them there on purpose, y'all know where we at. They gonna set them hoes right up on the rail. Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? We gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction. Gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction around here. I see. Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay. Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better. This right here? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think these gentlemen believe that the police set those up, but that's usually an Antifa tactic. They hide things.
That is a police tactic, yeah. No.
Yeah, they hide. Antifa is known for hiding things in barrels and garbage bins and bricks and rocks and garbage bins and fireworks. So Antifa is blaming the Proud Boys.
To have those bricks used on them.
Antifa is blaming the Proud Boys for this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh dear God, that is.
I've never seen the Proud Boys riot and smash windows, but I've seen plenty of Antifa videos of them doing it. And if you go back and start looking at some of the tapes, the guy smashing a window almost professionally. Those windows are hard to bust, but one guy walked through and bing, 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 knocked out 6 windows in about 30 seconds. With I don't know what he had to do it with, but he did it like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Hey, UK Neil sent a video. And guys, anybody that's going to be coming on the speakeasy or anybody that's out in the chat, if you've got videos you want us of what's happening that you want us to show on the speakeasy, please be sure and upload them to Phil.
Yeah, and I want everybody to remember to be vigilant in their own neighborhoods. This is not becoming a joke anymore with this stuff.
Yeah, it is.
If you live outside of a major city or any city at this point, I think if it kicks off even harder tonight, you just be vigilant. That's all.
Well, and think about it, Phil. If they really wanted to add a little more shock value to their cause, they would start going out into the suburbs. What better way to really inflame everybody is if they go start attacking innocent people in their homes. You know what I'm saying? Start taking it to the streets. Just like I always said, the best way to bring America to their knees would be for, some bad guys to take over our schools. This is way before the shootings, were all happening. that would be a prime way for them to get attention and to really bring some firepower, and that would be to enlarge their territory, their sphere, of influence where they're having these. Instigate a little bit more fear, a little bit more anger, a little bit more discord. Start making this all about race and wealth and everything else. Let's just add all of our other grievances to this race issue, or to this justice issue that they say that they're fighting for, which we know is not. And let's just add more fuel to the fire. They just want that bonfire to grow. They want all of this unrest to be laid at Donald Trump's feet.
Michelle, in the chat, there was a video of a guy getting out of a police Suburban saying he was CNN, but he was actually Antifa.
Did y'all see the tweet by POTUS today saying that they were going to be doing, what was it, something about bringing it to the White House?
They did last night. The Secret Service had to go out there in body armor last night to stop them from storming the White House last night.
Yeah, they did. And but POTUS said, okay, here's this tweet. The professionally managed so-called protesters at the White House had little to do with the memory of George Floyd. They were just there to cause trouble. The Secret Service handled them easily. Tonight, I understand, is MAGA night at the White House in all caps with lots of question marks. So
if you storm the White House gates,
special.
If you storm the White House, you will be shot. There won't be any questions. You will be shot. So.
And they have vicious dogs too. Remember, he said, I thought that was so cute. He said, and they have vicious dogs.
Here's that other video I was talking about. Someone sent it. I'm sorry, I can't remember who sent it, but.
Then we feel the bulk of that. We're not allowing that no more. Okay? That's the reality of what we're dealing with right now. All right? Like I said to all my white brothers and sisters, we appreciate y'all being out here and supporting us. But this is not y'all's space. This is not your space. Period. We don't need this bullshit right here. Because what our reality is, when this shit is all said and done, when we wake up, we still gonna be black in America. Now that's not nothing against none of y'all. That's not what this is. That's not what I'm saying. But we're not gonna allow y'all to go up there and start causing chaos and confusion. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, so I think people are starting to realize their neighborhoods are being destroyed, but not by. It's being kicked off by other people.
It's by outsiders being brought in. They realize that they're being used as political pawns in a war and then left in utter devastation as these Antifa groups waltz off into oblivion.
Here's a tweet from...
Foxy's got something big on Brooklyn. Boy, it looks like Brooklyn's really heating up.
Here's a tweet from Major Tom. It will take 50 years and probably longer to come back from this. Complete destruction of your own prosperity is what George would have wanted. Yeah, George Floyd. Mr. Anti-Bully. 250 businesses in St. Paul and Minneapolis have either been looted or burned down. And leadership of the state is more concerned about their own emotional well-being from being asked hard questions than the ruination of people's livelihoods. How can you allow you're derelict in your duty as governor, mayor, or whatever if you allow 250 businesses to be burned to the ground and looted?
Yes, you do. Yes. They need to be held liable. If they stand down or they tell the police to stand down, if they're not given everything they've got to protect you and your property, then they are derelict in their duty. And they ought to
let me tell you what. You know damn well the governor's property.
Thank you, Angie.
Tweet is unavailable. You sent myself flaccid. That tweet's gone.
Phil.
Probably got busted
Angie
for hate.
Sent you one doll for Speakeasy.
Okay.
And yes, you're right, Monica. It's never the same. And these crazy people waltz off and leave utter devastation behind, because the wounds, the emotional wounds, it isn't just the business, the more brick and mortar, or even our businesses. It causes an emotional wound to the community.
Look at these in the video. These two white guys are dragging a bike rack down the road to smash windows, or whatever the hell they're doing.
Oh, and you know what else they're using? They're taking. I read an article today. They're taking the benches, at bus stops and places like that, and using them to hide behind while they throw incendiaries and different things.
Now, I will tell you, Antifa, this is Philadelphia, video out of Philadelphia. Antifa is huge in Philadelphia. Probably just as dominant as in Portland.
They've got a tree.
Yeah. Portland Antifa and Philadelphia Antifa are about the same size from what I understand. My aunt lives there and uncle, and they terrorize people, Antifa in Philadelphia, and the police don't do anything about it. But darn well, if the mayor's property or the governor's property is being threatened, where are the cops going to be immediately? But if you're being threatened, where are the cops going to be? We'll get there when we can get there.
Well, this shows you why the Second Amendment is so freaking important. If you do not see that if this were to ever come close to where you live, that the police would be in utter chaos and would not be able to defend every person and every person's property, I do not know what it would take for you to see the light. If this is not a call for you to go out and buy a gun and make sure you have plenty of ammo, or to go brush up on your shooting skills, or to make sure that every person in your family knows how to safely handle a firearm, I do not know what kind of wake up it's going to take. Seriously, people, if you do not know how to shoot a firearm, how to handle a firearm, or your family, then go buy y'all some freaking classes for this summer. Make that your family outing each week. But teach your family how to protect themselves, and make sure you've got plenty of guns and ammo, because you can't run to the store in the middle of a gunfight. If this were to come to the neighborhoods, then everybody needs to know how to protect themselves and their property. There was also some great video out on where those business owners were all lined up with their ammo and all that kind of thing, their guns, saying, you know what, you just come try to torch my business, see what you get. Did y'all see that? It was great. And then there was another video. It was a very heartwarming thing. I think Q may have put it out, of that group of black men that was protecting the policeman that got separated from his team. Did you see that, Yank?
No.
It is wonderful. I'll try to get its humanity at its best. They were all protecting this policeman. He got separated from his team, and they all locked arms to protect him from the violent mob coming at him. Let me see if I can pull that up and send it to you. I don't know if I can or not. But guys, everybody needs to know how to protect themselves. But you've got to have the guns and the ammo to do it.
Problem. There's a, I don't know, 250 people plus all of the people that work for those businesses just lost their jobs. Not only did we have a pandemic, a plandemic, where the media shamed us for going out without a mask, although now it doesn't make a difference, right? Not social distancing, but now it doesn't make a difference. The media gets attacked. I really don't care. Whatever. They brought this on themselves. The media has fomented this stuff for decades. Boring. They've asked for it.
whether you're a Q believer or not, if you're a Q reader, which I am, he did post Call the Ball, Insurrection Act of 1807. Insurrection Act of 1807. Determination that the various state and local authorities are not up to the task of responding to the growing unrest. Call the ball, Q. I think that's very interesting. But this was wonderful. How can I send you this?
You know, the media has been doing this. How you could probably not even count the number of times they said racism in the last 5 years. There's probably not a calculator that goes that high. So, you know, they've been trying to foment this thing for decades, the media. And now they're getting attacked and called out on it. I have no problem with it.
Unless that when they were all tearing up CNN and going, F CNN, and I'm going, woohoo! They do have good taste even for rioters.
Boogie Bumper in the chat, he's right. Look at the riot squad, right? Who are they guarding? They're guarding the banks. They're guarding the media, right? They're guarding the governor's mansion, but they're not guarding that small business. You know, the guy owns the little tobacco shop that's getting looted. They're not guarding that person's coffee shop that's just been destroyed and burned to the ground.
That's why it's so important to exercise your Second Amendment right.
The police aren't here for us anymore, really. They're here to do whatever the government tells them to do.
You have to be realistic. When you face an angry mob, they're in the minority unless they call out really heavy-duty tactics that's going to be really, really bad optics. And that something we do not want is them, you know,
well, they're going to eventually do it.
Shoot our fellow citizens. However, hang on, I'm sending you this.
Well, isn't the police to protect and serve, but to protect who? What about those 250 businesses that were burned to the ground and looted? They didn't protect them.
Saying. I mean, how thin do you think they can be stretched? That's why it's important to be able to take care of it yourself.
Yeah, but
when they get overwhelmed, honey, it is going to be everything for himself.
As they're protecting a bank on the corner, and 5 stores right in a row, right next to the bank, are being looted. You know, they can't stop one of the stores from being looted. No, they surround the bank. They use 50, 60 cops to surround the bank.
Got burned to the ground the other night. Antifa it is playing that card just as much as they are any of them. I sent you that article in the Telegram.
Well, here's how you know the police aren't here to protect us, because during the pandemic, most of the cops were out running around worrying about people who were opening their business, arresting them, harassing them, or going after people for not wearing masks, chasing surfers down. Really? There's no criminals to go catch? People's, you know, I don't get it. They're arresting innocent people because it's easy. But this stuff, we'll go circle the wagons around something else. I don't know. I don't know. The last 2 months, kind of hard to say the back to blue after the last 2 months of watching video after video after video of cops harassing innocent people. Kind of tough. Telegram, you said?
I'm still a proponent for judging each person for themselves. Not every cop is bad. Not every cop is good. Just like there's good, bad, and ugly of everything. So I'm really not into generalizations too much. So I'll take them as they come.
Where'd you put it?
In our Telegram.
The only one I got is from the last one.
It's a photo.
I don't.
Did you get it?
No.
Let me send it again. Because I just think it's nice to see humanity at its best for once in the middle of all of this ugliness. But guys, I do want to remind you that it's very easy to let this make us feel like we are losing the whole war, and we're not. We are doing a lot of winning. We've had several wonderful EOs signed this week. We've had a lot of other good things. We just launched 2 men into outer space for the first time in 9 or 10 years. Buente stepped down today. Add him to the forced resignations list. There was a lot of really good things that happened this week too. I think that the interesting thing about these kinds of times is that you see the best of people and you see the utter worst of people. It's like the in between, the people like us that just want to have a good life, get up and work, go to work every day, have a good life for our families and our friends. It just seems like they push us more and more towards taking a stand. So we're going to have to be vigilant. Everybody's going to have to be very vigilant. Dana Buente, they forced him to step down.
Who's that?
He was a holdover from the Obama administration. So
I got it. Photo.
And did you see it, darling?
Yeah, I got it. Oh.
You might have to enlarge it a little bit because it was. If you see them and see him standing behind them, the look on his face was pretty priceless.
Hold on, I'll save it and then move it over. I saw a comment from Lemon Tree. It's what the left wants us to do is go against the cops, but the cops haven't helped themselves in the last couple months, I'll tell you. If they want people to back the blue, harassing innocent citizens trying to make a living wasn't a good idea. Just saying. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, everybody was on Twitter complaining about it, right?
Well, I agree with you, but again, I'm going to stick with my usual Operatus Mundi, which is what I appreciate from people. I'm going to try to keep an open mind and judge everybody by what they show me. I don't judge people off what they talk, because talk is cheap, but I judge people off the way they live, the way that they respond. And I agree, Lemon Tree, they're not the majority of them.
I didn't say they were, but I still go back to that. When you hear a Hannity or a bunch of other people saying what's he always say about the FBI, the rank and file are all great guys. I hear commercials. Thank a teacher. They're all God's gift to earth. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop putting groups on pedestals. A teacher's no more important than a plumber or a carpenter or the used car salesman. Why do we do that? Why do we allow people to be put up on pedestals?
Well, I think you're right. I think it's good to keep a realistic view of things. And let's just let everybody earn the reputation we assign them. In other words, let's keep an open mind, and regardless of skin color, regardless of any demarcation, let's take people where they're at, with responsible for what they show you. Take them at face value. It's like I always tell my daughter, or when she was growing up and I was getting ready to date and all that, I said, don't pay attention to what a man says to you. Pay attention to the way a man treats you. Look at the man's actions, not his words. And I think that's what we have to do with the police and with everybody.
Well, you hear politicians, especially liberal politicians, always do it. The African American vote, the Latino vote. That all that does is single people out into groups. They're constantly doing it.
Yeah, they do.
Remember when you were a kid, you went to school, that it was America is a melting pot. Although, if you came here, you were Italian, you had your Italian things, but you were still an American. They've figured out how to get away from that. We're not a melting pot anymore. We're a country of individual groups with their own individual rights, and some have more rights than others, and right?
Their own personal agendas.
Yes.
And I think you're right. I think we've gotten away from Americanism, which I love the America that I grew up in. I love the country, the people, the memories, the way we chose to live. I knew if my mama or my daddy didn't put a switch to my behind, that one of my neighbors would if I got out of line. I knew that if one of our neighbors had to get on to me, woe unto me when I got home, because not only would I get whatever they dished out, but I'd get a whooping for the wrongdoing I did when I got home, but I'd also get a whooping for my neighbor having to get on to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We've forgotten the community ideals, the neighborly ideals. But it's funny because in my real life, I don't experience that. I know my neighbors. I love my neighbors. I talk to everybody I meet, and I don't ever see skin color. I don't think they do either. You know?
The biggest...
They want us to interject it into our lives, guys.
Well, the biggest problem we've had over the last 20, 30 years is people trying to change human nature. You see it with everything now. You can't. It's right. The founding documents, even you just can't. You're not going to modify human behavior, period. The more you try to do it, the worse it gets. Right? It's like that I think Boogie Bumper talked about it, The Matrix, when they tried to make a perfect world and they lost all the crops because the humans were crops, right, in The Matrix? Because everything was too perfect. Every time you try to force people into a box, it's just going to make it... You're building an explosive, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to change human nature. It's going to explode.
Yes, it does.
And that's what's happening, because you got people telling you have to accept men wearing dresses. You have to accept men in the women's room, in the women's locker room. And when people finally they blow up, they like the woman at the judgment free zone, whatever that gym is, I can't remember, but where she flipped out because some guy took his pants off, and dressed as a woman, but
girlfriend that
he's a man.
Had a man shove his pecker under the bathroom door. Mm-hmm. And you know what she did? She just so happened her husband.
Did you have a Boogie Bumper butt plug ready?
No, her husband. And Boogie, I just have a question for you, darling. We do have to talk about that on the Speakeasy now. I'm just saying, I was saving that material for Speakeasy. But Boogie, you be sure and tune in, darling, because I got a question to ask you. Anyway, but getting back to what I was saying, her daddy was a retired detective, and he gave her one of these things. I know I've seen them before, but only a few times. I don't know what they're called. But it was this real heavy piece of metal, but it's encased in a leather case. And if you thump with it, oh, dear Lord, that hurts. It'll leave a bruise on you. And she got that out of her purse and thumped him with that. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That Boogie nailed it right there. Especially if you live in a blue state, the last 3 months, the fervor has been building. He says, "You're right." In New York State, people are getting, in my area, which isn't as bad as New York City, people are getting pissed off. They're constantly being told by the government what to do, and
as a catalyst with the Antifa people, but the last 3 months, also all these Antifa people and all these professionals they've brought in have been practicing and getting ready and stocking up. So yeah, I think that it's building up on every side. You're exactly right, Boogie.
Yeah. Plus, you've had 3 months, especially if you're in New York State, Minnesota, Michigan.
That's it.
You've had 3 months of the governor, the mayors, your county legislator telling you what to do and what you can and can't do. And it just, wow. After a while, you're just going to, I'm a prisoner in my own home. Are you kidding me? While the same very people are letting people out in droves out of prisons.
I know. I know.
To commit the same crimes.
It's, again, if you look, it's the it's the left-wing lib nuts that are doing all of this, that are working in conjunction, with all of the ne'er-do-wells, the Antifas, and every disenfranchised part of their community. It's like a tinderbox. But you've got to realize where this is coming from and be somewhat objective about that.
Well, you got to see all the cities on tonight that are rioting, and there's a lot of them. I think almost every major city in America's got something going on. They're all controlled by Democrats. Every single one of them.
Yep, it is. It is. Hey, darling.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, but we're going to need to say our good nights. I hate to, because I don't feel like we've been, I felt like this is pertinent, and I think it's good to discuss, but I hate that we didn't get to cover all the wonderful winning, because I sent you a whole week worth of winning again. And guys.
And we missed our James Wood segment too. We missed our James Wood segment.
And guys, there's been a real important thing I keep telling you for the last 2 weeks. The hypersonic missiles and that thing on that new kind of weaponry that I sent you is extremely interesting, and it's very important, vital for our safety. And it's anyway. So we've got to make time to come back and talk about all this stuff. We can't just keep sweeping it to the rug, Yankee. So we've got to come back and get some of this good winning covered, because we cannot let them totally control the narrative to the point where we think this is everything. They're wanting this to be everything. They don't want our attention to be taken away by all the winning and all the good things that are still happening, the things that are furthering our agenda, not their narrative. So we will be making sure that we get all that on somehow, some way, even if we have to come and do a special one. So, but good night, everybody. It's time for y'all to go refill your libations and pick up your favorite snacks and get ready. Get your popcorn out, because we obviously have got a lot of hot zones out here to cover tonight. And if y'all want to be on the speakeasy to cuss and discuss and get your view out there, please feel free to join us.
Okay, we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
I expect you back, darling, because I have a word with you.
Who?
I have something to discuss with you.
Who? Boogie?
Boogie.
Oh.
So you be sure and come back and see us down in a few minutes, darling. I have a very good question for you.
All right, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Make sure you come back. Yeah, come back in 10 minutes. We'll talk more about this with our all-star panel. Plus, Boogie Bumper's going to get his ear rung, I guess, about something.
Come on in and cuss and discuss with us if you can, darling. I don't know if it's too late or not. But, okay, everybody, get ready. The race is on. Get your snacks and your libations.
All right, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Hold your spot for you.
Listen to this video. Okay, a Hot Rod Girl. We'll play that in about 10 minutes. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Y'all send your videos if there's something.
That was weird. Oh, Boogie Bumper might come on for a bit. Oh, that's nice.
I just think we hit the lotto. Our favorite things are making.
I don't know. I think I'm being black pilled.
You think you're being black pill?
Yeah.
Honey, I think you go off the black pill cliff. We got to bring that more towards the center. Center is where it's all at.
I'm dropping the Zoom number out in the Speakeasy show host room, and Boogie Bumper, I'll DM you the Zoom number or link if you care to say stuff.
Come on, it's gonna be sad. People get your mind out of the gutter.
Dropping the link now. Good luck getting the word in there, Boog.
Come on, Becky. Come on, we don't want to
Alright, let's find Twitter. I dropped the link in the Twitter DM there, Boog. If you care to join.
to hug him. Y'all don't forget, we've got to re-elect POTUS. I need to hug him on my birthday.
Otherwise, if you don't elect POTUS, you ain't black.
Black. And I will take your name and go for him. I want to hug him on my birthday for a re-election. I'm going to vote for him for my birthday. Yeah, I mean, that all got me. Love y'all, Miss Come on Becky here.
But why are you farming for coins when you haven't hit it back?
That rascal took all of my firewood and built a dam across the cement pond.
But why are you farming for coins when you haven't hit it back?
Because the Yankees still doesn't have I'm gonna have to have my own bag.